This is John for Johnny's Beat in the past. Today I have the pleasure of being on the beat with the ink medium, Gina Versace-Fiore. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am good. I'm excited to talk to you. I've got so many questions about what you do and how it affects the world. So first, let me start with what exactly is a medium?
Well, I am a psychic medium. We all start out psychic, and whether or not you develop into mediumship is a different story. So the playing field is level. We all start off as psychic, and whether your abilities develop into the mediumship, it will take you that way. So when you're psychic, you can talk about past, present, and future with somebody, money, finances, love life, that you be speaking with your spirit guides and their spirit guides and your angels. Mediumship is, say, if somebody is a doctor and there's a dentist, there's a surgeon, there's an orthopedic surgeon, there's a physical therapist, all considered doctors, but they have their specialities. Mediumship is the speciality of mine. So when you do have the mediumship, you are talking to your deceased loved ones who have crossed over on the other side, also working with angels and spirit guides.
So when you say spirit guides, what exactly is a spirit guide? It's not a relative, or could it be a relative?
It could be, but it's usually someone who has not walked the earth. They've been in the angelic realm their whole time. And we actually have, everybody has them. You're born with them and they change throughout your life, depending upon what you're going through. For a quick example, your kindergarten teacher is not the same teacher as your last year of college, but you had different teachers throughout your lifetime, so you can get through. They help you out with the hard times, celebrate the good times with you, they protect you, but you need to call on them. They'll be sitting there like this, waiting with a foot tap and just waiting to help you. You need to know you have them and to call on them. And you might not know who they are, but you might feel them, see them. You might even smell them. You can also hear them.
And is that something that you would then, like, if I came to you and said, like, what would I come to you with? I have a problem, or I have a problem that needs solving, or I'm looking for answers, or I'm looking to contact my relatives. What were the I don't, customer is not the right word for it. What would the person,
Clients,
client, thank you. I was
you're
stumbling.
welcome.
What
All of
would,
the above, everything
okay.
you just mentioned and some.
So I come to you and I say, I'm having trouble. I don't know what to do with my job. I don't know if I should leave it and try something like this. What then do I say? Like, what do you suggest, or what do my
Absolutely.
spirits
You,
suggest?
you could come to me and not say a word, and your spirit guides will communicate with my spirit guides. And I'll say, okay, they're bringing me over to work, and your work-life balance is not good, or we're thinking I see a couple of jobs, and they'll start showing me opportunities of either you applying or thinking about or talking to your friends going, John, I'm not quite happy here. I think I'm going to start looking. I'm going to put my resume up and see what happens. And they'll show me all of that with signs and symbols of things you have experienced in the world to get me to say that to you.
And
Oh,
do you always get answers, or
yes.
sometimes it's so you do always get answers of some sort?
Yes, they're always willing to talk. They never want to stop.
Okay. It's like my relatives. So
Yes.
you now in matters like, I mean, everything is serious, but in matters of real seriousness like death, health. If I came to you with like a cancer concern and say that you get the answer, how do you deliver that?
With dignity and grace, I do not receive any information that would be negative. It would only be positive to help you. For example, don't miss that cardiologist appointment on Tuesday. They're going to lower your medication. You might have been thinking, oh, geez, I'd rather go to lunch with my friends than to go to that cardiologist. But now that you brought it up and you go, oh, they lowered my dosage. That worked out great. So they will not give me anything negative, and I set that up as boundaries with my spirit guides when I first started doing this work. So if somebody walks in, part of my little speech I give before you actually get comfortable in your little seat with me, I ask, if you've ever seen a medium before, yes or no, depends upon which speech I will give you. And it's just a little quick one to let you know how I do receive my information. And in that, I say, do not ask me when you're going to cross over yourself, because I don't want to know. You shouldn't want to know either. And that's not what this is about. It's connecting with your loved ones and healing any traumas you have from losses.
So if I came again, going back to if I came to you with a job concern, but you see a health concern, or your spirits tell you of a health concern of some sort, then do you bring that into the like, are there,
Yes.
for lack of a better term, could they go off topic?
Oh, yes. They'll have me talking to say, your Uncle Eddie, God forbid Uncle Eddie's in heaven. They'll have me talking with him, and then he might tell something to my spirit guides, and I'll say, oh, hold on one second. They're bringing me over to this job thing, or they're bringing me over to, you're not feeling well, or you were just diagnosed. Let's talk about it. Let's work through that. And they'll take me through everything, only to help you.
Okay.
So some things, if they don't want me to know and it doesn't need to be discussed, they will not bring it up in the conversation. They will not show me anything.
And could I ask for specific people from my life for you to try to contact? Like, if I say, I want to know how my uncle, I forgot your Uncle Joe, I forgot which name you brought up, but I think you said Uncle Ed, maybe. But
Yes.
I said it, I want to know how my Uncle Ed is doing.
They all will show up, and you bring them to me. I don't bring them in. I do not control who comes in and who doesn't. My spirit guides do that for me to keep us and me protected. So you could bring an object, you could bring me a photo and put it face down and put it on the table, and I could touch it. You could bring his watch and we could bring him through like that. Absolutely.
What do you mean keep you protected?
There's a lot of low-level entities and energies in this universe. You figure energy is everywhere, just like radio waves are. If you want to tune into your local rock station, here it's 102.3 BAB. You turn the dial and the frequency and it locks in. When you communicate with spirit, they have to lower their vibration, and you need to raise yours, and you tune in together.
Now, obviously, I'm close with my family. We're all close with our family. Let's say there's somebody that I met who I worked with like years ago, and we were friends or whatever. But I really want to know what happened to that person. We don't have any communication now. The person died 5 years ago, whatever. Am I able to I guess, how far reaching am I able to request? Obviously,
absolutely. So if you sat in front of me and you would ask me that, absolutely, we could tap into that energy and see where they are.
Even like as silly as my son, even like if I say, could you contact like Elvis?
I'm not sure about Elvis. I think the king might be a little busy right now.
But I mean, like,
if you know them personally, we could bring them through. But sometimes people that you might not know, such as that, will come through. It's crazy what comes through, completely unexpected.
No, after I come to you for a session and then I leave, then do you get any, do your spirits come to you with like more stuff after about me, perhaps at some point?
No.
It ends
now, as you leave, I ask your loved ones to follow you and to go home with you. They can't stay with me because I have other clients and other souls coming through. So I got to send them packing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and speaking with us today, but they got to go with you. And I make sure of it. And when I'm through with my day, I sage. I use white sage, and that makes sure everybody leaves.
No, obviously I've done some research on you. I know that your story, as a child, you had the sensations, and then you lost it for a while. Unfortunately, a motorcycle accident kind of brought it back to you. But how did you know that you could actually people coming to you is one thing. How did you know that you could actually work with helping other people?
That's a great question. After my motorcycle accident, my spirit guide saw that I had some downtime in between surgeries and all of that, and a lot of recovery time. So they said, okay, it's time to get back into doing this again. So they got all excited. I had no idea what was going on. I couldn't even get out of bed. I couldn't walk out of my front door. I'm picking up all my neighbors' deceased loved ones, but I'm only feeling the symptoms. I'm not hearing anything. So God forbid, you're my next door neighbor, or you're my mailman giving me my mail, and God forbid your brother passed away from a heart attack. I start picking it up and feeling my heart race. All of a sudden, I don't feel good. I'm sweating. My heart's racing. Next thing you know, I'm on the floor, passing out. I'm like, what is going on? So after several doctors and neurologists, I went and I sought out my family friend, Pat Longo, who was my teacher and my healer. I said, Pat, I need to come to see you for a healing. After my motorcycle accident, I have dizzy spells. I have anxiety. My heart's racing. I have migraines. All this is going on at once, and I'm passing out. I need a healing. She goes, no problem. I got you. I went, I saw her. She did a beautiful healing on me. And she said, you're just like your friend Teresa. I said, excuse me? She says, you're just like your friend Teresa. You're a psychic medium. How do you know you're a psychic medium? While she was doing a healing on me, she speaks with her spirit guides and her angels. And they were telling her that is what is causing your anxiety. Come to class on Tuesday and I'll teach you how to read people, relieve that anxiety. And as you read them, you're helping them. I said, I could help people? She goes, absolutely. I said, I'm all in 100%. Whatever I have to do, tell me and show me. I'm all about it. A couple of weeks later, I was reading people in class, doing psychic fairs with her. And next thing you know, I'm having people come to my home. I'm going to your home, doing group events. I'm raising money for animal shelters, all in the greatest good of all concerned. And that's pretty much how it happened.
I will say I listened to that one of the interviews you did with Pat. A fascinating interview.
Thank you.
That was amazing. Loved it. So when a person comes to you or calls you, do they test you at all, like to see if you're legit?
A lot of them will do research, but most of my clients are word of mouth through my business card. Some people do find me on social media here and there. Excuse me. But most of them, it's just word of mouth. Hey, I saw that crazy tattooed chick that talks to the dead. Here's a card. Go check her out. And pretty much, I'd say 98% of my business is word of mouth.
No, but when I come to you, then like, do I throw out something to test you to see if you can actually like?
You can. I don't recommend it, but you can. You might hear something you might not want to hear.
Okay. No,
but nobody really has. I usually, when they come to me, I mean, I've had a lot of gentlemen come to me. One of my favorites, I read his daughter every 6 months. So he said, I have to know what this is about. Biggest skeptic in the world. He comes in, beautiful Harley, actually had the same bike as I got. Comes in all tatted up, real muscle guy, crosses his arms, crosses his legs, goes, all right, go ahead. I don't believe in this at all. So let's see you amaze me. I said, okay, no problem. Let's go. I did my little speech. 5 minutes later, he's crying. His best friend came through. He was injured in a tragic motorcycle accident, but survived the accident. He did not survive anesthesia when they were putting a rod in his leg.
Wow.
When he was cremated, the gentleman that was in front of me knew the guy that cremated him. And he said, can you give me the not the bone, but the pipe,
the rod.
Thank you. The titanium rod out of his leg. Now I'm seeing a rod in a shoebox under the bed where this gentleman sleeps. Wow. And I'm going, how am I going to say this to this guy? But you say everything you hear, see, and feel, and you don't sugarcoat it. So I just delivered it exactly the way I saw it. And he said, oh my gosh. And I said, your wife was yelling at you this morning to put it up in the attic because it was creeping her out because it was under the bed. He goes, I just had that argument before I got here. And whoever his buddy was that was on the other side was there with him that morning when he was putting that up in the attic.
Wow. See, no, that's
crazy. That freaks me out.
But that's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't know like if people could come in and try to, to test your abilities. As I said, as I've emailed you, I'm open-minded. I'm not exactly sure about where it all lies, but I'm fascinated by it, and I don't disbelieve. I'm leaning much more towards believing just because of experiences like that and a few things that I've had. I've read that you are religious, though, or at least spiritual.
Spiritual, yes. I was raised Roman Catholic. I went to Catholic elementary school, but there's amazing things on the other side, and religion is just religion to people.
But does your spirituality ever come in conflict with what you do?
You would think it would, but it does not. It's completely different worlds.
Okay. Real quick, I have to point out you have a Mike Bossy jersey in the back there. I know you're a hockey fan. How deep do you go with hockey?
I started watching hockey in the 75-76 season.
Oh,
I was in first grade. So I love it. Love the whole sport.
Great time.
Many. And that is my childhood idol. right there.
And you came through, I mean, at 75, that was when they started with a nice streak. I think they had like 3 or 4 cups in a
Four.
four. There you go. I do, yeah. See, in Chicago, we don't have that. We had 3 in the last decade or so, but it was
That's still good. Hey, you guys are my second favorite team. I'm a big Chris Chelios fan.
Oh,
Love
I
Jelly.
went to high school with him for about half a year, and then he transferred out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he went to
Phenomenal player.
He's absolutely a great guy. His daughter is extremely nice. She's in the media field too. But
Oh, that's great.
yeah, Kaylee, I believe her name is Kaylee. Yeah. So other than doing the readings, like, do you have future plans with your skills?
Yes, absolutely. To help heal people here in the physical world by reading them one-on-one, group readings. I do a lot of large group events in different restaurants around the island, in the city, tri-state area. I have plans to go to different states across the United States and travel. I read groups all over the world, all over the world.
Do you do anything via Zoom now with COVID and everything changed the whole landscape of that? Could you do readings with Zoom?
Oh, it's amazing. It's just as if you were here in front of me. There is no difference. Phone readings, in-person readings, Zoom, Skype, Microsoft Teams, however you want to work it, we can do it.
So when you set up a meeting, then I know you said to bring, like, I would have a personal item. Like, what do I need to bring to a meeting, whether it's Zoom or in person?
Just yourself.
Oh,
and
okay.
Your loved ones will follow right behind you, just like a little kid holding a helium balloon as he's walking. Yeah, they'll follow you wherever you are. So we tune in together on Zoom and you're at work, or if we're tuning in and you're at home, they're already with you. So once we click on and we connect, here we go. It's that simple.
I presume you, and I certainly mean no disrespect, because I respect everything you do. I presume you get some negativity thrown your way.
Of course, with anything, like with anything.
What is the way that you deal with it?
That's their opinion. They're entitled to it. Until you sit in front of me and have a reading, you can say whatever you want, because you do not know what it is like, just like anybody else's story. Unless I could say whatever I want about them, might not be nice. It could be nice. But what's the point? Unless you've experienced something with that person or that company or that business, you really have no ground to stand on. So come sit with me for an hour, check it out. And then you could say whatever you would like to say.
And I know obviously it's done a lot for you, but is it ever a burden with so much stuff coming at you?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just I help so many people with this that just makes me so happy. That gives me the fuel, the energy that I need, because people come to me and they look 100% completely different in a better way when they walk out my door. Because now they've connected with their loved ones. Now they have guidance directly from them. And they walk out. There really is something to the other side. I could speak to my mom. I just spoke with my dad, my husband, my wife, whomever it is. And they get the closure that they need. And while we're sitting there in our session, you could say, hey, ask Uncle Billy for me, blah, 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 blah. And we can ask him. Let's see what he says. And he'll come back with a reply for you. It's almost like those old Nextel phones with the push to talk. It's just like that. And a lot of times they just keep going.
Well, before I let you go, tell everybody where they can find out more information about you.
Thank you so much. I am all over social media as Inked Medium, INKED Medium, MEDIUM. My email is inkedmedium444@gmail.com. And my office number is 516-605-2450.
And they might see you at an Islanders game, I assume, right?
Absolutely.
Gina, really, it's been such a pleasure. I had so many questions, and you were when I saw you with Jen, I said you were the perfect person for me to talk to, because this field fascinates me. And you answered all my questions beautifully, and I so much appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm glad I could help.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And if you're ever in town, I will be checking it out on social media. If you ever do come in town, you will see me in the audience.
That sounds wonderful. I'll be there in November, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Then I will see you in November. Awesome.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you then. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Bye.